Good morning, church, and welcome to today's Children's Moment. I'm glad you're with me. In a few minutes, we're going to hear a passage from the book of Job. Job was a person in Bible times who was suffering from a lot of heartbreaking problems. He had a terrible disease, he lost his children, he lost his home, and was dealing with a lot of uncertainty in his life. He thought that he was living a pretty good life before all these things started happening. He was obeying God's rules, and he couldn't understand why bad things kept happening to him. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel that things keep happening that are bad in your life or in people's lives who you love very much, and they didn't do anything wrong? And that it's just not fair that those things keep happening to the same people over and over again. It's hard. And sometimes we just keep asking, why are these things happening? We ask our parents, we ask other people, tell me why this is happening. And we don't get answers. But we want the answers right now. And when people can't give us the answers, sometimes we turn to God for those answers. And we want God to answer us right now and give us an answer that we want, that would explain the unexplainable. But what we'll hear in a few minutes is that Job realizes that God's answers to life's toughest questions, God's wisdom, is sometimes really hard to find. Sometimes God's answers are just too big for our brains to understand. But what we do know and what we understand is that God's love for us during those really tough times when we're asking God those really hard questions and demanding God to answer us right now, God still loves us so much and pulls us tight when we're going through those hard and questioning times. God's light will guide us, and eventually, sometimes we'll recognize what God's answers are in our lives. And sometimes while we're searching for those answers, God gives us the opportunity to help someone else who is going through a similar struggle, and know that those are the times when God is giving us the opportunity to share His love with others. So this week, as we move ahead during this crazy pandemic that continues to turn our lives upside down, and we have more questions than answers, remember that God's love is bigger than what we can understand or imagine. I hope you have a great week this week. Be well, stay safe, and share God's love with someone. I'll see you next week.